Hello there, and welcome to the Warts and All Star Wars podcast, where we discuss everything we love about Star Wars, warts and all. My name is Will, and joining me today are my good friends Ben.
Hello.
Bill.
Hi.
And Chris.
Porklet can feel your thoughts.
Okay. Tonight, we reach out with our feelings for our top 3 Star Wars memories.
What do you remember?
Just images, really. Feelings.
Tell me.
Through the Force, things you will see, other places, the future, the past, old friends long gone.
Okay, I'm going to start the discussion off first with my most recent Star Wars memory, which is the premiere of Season 2 of The Mandalorian. I think the reason this one stands out to me, first of all, it could just be because it's so fresh in my mind. That kind of skews it a bit. But I think given the year we had and the fact that we hadn't had a movie release in so long, we were just basically going that full year. I think we had the Clone Wars final season, right? Came out between Season 1 and Season 2. So that was kind of a whole, it helped a little bit hold you over, but I think I just didn't realize how badly I needed a shot to the arm of Star Wars. And that premiere was just perfection for me. It felt like they took all of the things I like about Star Wars movies and comics and video games and like distilled it down. And that's what that show was in that moment. I loved it. And I know you guys did too. I'm like preaching to the choir here, but
Yeah, it was an amazing episode. I mean, it was a Western. It was a Star Wars show.
John Leguizamo was in it.
that's right.
Well, and then they're like, oh, yeah, you like Westerns and Star Wars? Well, let me raise you a Timothy Oliphant, because why not?
Right. Yeah, perfect casting.
Crate Dragon. I mean, there was really nothing to dislike about it.
And the Boba Fett tease at the end.
Yeah.
That's right.
Yes.
Yeah, set the stage. Ben, what do you got? I know you have something that's kind of related.
Yeah, I mean, one of mine will definitely be the first episode of the first season of Mandalorian, and just experiencing a new era, honestly, of Star Wars, and not knowing what was going to happen in it. Started off awesome. You know, he got a bounty for somebody that you had no idea who they were, and it was, 50 years old, and I'm sitting there with my wife, and we're watching it, and, she's like, all right, whatever, it's just a guy in armor, and I'm just like, all right, what's next? I can't wait.
Yeah. And I think when you hear the 50-year-old thing, you start thinking, like, wait a minute, who could this be?
Right.
Because if it's someone that's of significance who's 50, like, wait, this fits perfectly with the prequels.
Right. And I'm sitting there, and I'm like, it's got to be maybe it's a Jedi they're looking for because it's the Empire. Maybe it has something to do with the sequel movies. Maybe. And I'm just like rattling these off, and my wife is just giving me the shut up and just watch the show face. And, he's clearing out that Nikto hideout on whatever planet that was. What was that?
Queel's planet. I don't remember.
Arvala 7.
If you say so.
And
Yes, good old Arvala 7.
And I'm just like, oh man, who is it gonna be? And then they open that little crib thing, and it's just this baby Yoda, and we both just, our jaws hit the floor. We were like, what is happening right now?
I think I can attest to that as well. My wife fell in love with the show in that moment.
I think that was the moment where Star Wars came fully back into mainstream pop culture, because
I think you're right.
I went to work. I don't know if I assume they were coming out on Fridays, season 1, 2. So whatever the next work day was, like literally everyone was talking about it, even people who weren't really Star Wars fans. So
yeah,
I mean, it was amazing.
And that's I mean, it's just huge. And the fact that it aired weekly was only working in its favor, because then everybody's talking about what's going to happen next. And yeah, it's just fantastic. Like, perfectly executed. Plus, it's amazing still to me that they kept that secret. Like,
Yeah.
I don't know. The only thing I remember hearing in development was that they were talking to George Lucas about Yoda's race. I remember hearing that at some point, but I did not expect that at all. That was just like...
I didn't even hear that.
Yeah, that was just a crazy reveal.
No, I mean, I feel like it was the best kept secret in the history of Star Wars.
Yeah.
I mean,
and
Grogu, for that Christmas, was what everybody wanted. They were like, I need to have a baby Yoda. And they weren't making any because it was so under wraps that people had to go and make bootleg versions of baby Yoda.
Right. Yeah, those knitting patterns that were getting pulled off of the internet. All right, let's move over to Chris. What do you got for us?
Yeah, well, my first one is having to do with music. Whenever I hear the Mos Eisley Cantina music, that classic song, I always get transported back to 8th grade band class, where my fellow tenor saxophone player, I won't name him to protect the innocent, but every morning at the beginning of class, he would always play the Cantina song to warm up. And we might have made fun of him for it behind his back, but thinking back, man, I wish that was me in a way. No, but
yeah, it's a great tune. Why
just
not?
Like have that love of that song and just to do that as your warm up every day. That's man, that's good for him. And then that also takes me back to this John Williams songbook I had around that time, maybe a little earlier actually, with all the John Williams greats from the soundtracks. Superman, Indiana Jones, all the Star Wars stuff, Jaws, and that's actually where I learn the words to the original Ewok celebration song at the end of Return of the Jedi before the special editions.
And you're going to sing it for us, right?
No, it's been a while since.
How about Yub Nub, right?
Oh yeah, Yub Nub, Echop Yub Nub, Atomi Topichikin, Ganoop Duck Fling, Oh Ah.
Well, there
and
it
that's
is.
all I got.
He still got it.
And it even has the translations with it too. It's great.
Is that song removed from canon though?
I guess. Well, no, that's Tip Yip. I'm thinking of something else. But I have come to like the new song better. But that's the story for a different podcast.
Right. True. Yeah, that's a good one. I mean, the music is, well, we were all band kids. Maybe not Ben.
No.
But I think like the music of John Williams is kind of what gets you, it either gets you interested in the possibility of playing, an instrument like that, or keeps you interested because...
Yeah, we actually did Star Wars music for a concert, didn't we?
Yeah. I think it was
a medley of some sort.
Yeah, I think there was probably a John Williams medley at some point. I think that was pretty popular to do back then.
Oh, yeah. Probably still is. Should be if it's not.
Probably is, yeah.
Well, Bill, why don't you take it from here? What do you got?
All right, so mine's my first one's pretty obscure. First, it's almost embarrassing, but it's not really because I love it so much. Playing the Phantom Menace game on PC. Now, there's no way you can actually classify this as a great game, and based on the critical lashing it got, not unlike the movie. Not even like a good game.
I don't know.
But
there's fun to be had. I would.
It was so fun.
Yeah.
Like there was so many memories from it. I mean, we quote it all the time. Like the door's open, let's go. Yeah. And
be careful, Obi-Wan. I need room to fight.
Exactly. Hoota Bazara. Yeah. Like the whole Tatooine level, that whole sequence was just a lot of fun. There was a lot to go around and mess with it.
Yeah, there was a lot of really like interesting design choices, you could say.
Yeah,
for better or worse. But some of them were just like you could break the game. You could kill people in the game to the point where you could not progress, and that was just that it allowed you to do that.
Yes. Yeah, people complain about games now when they come out with bugs. This game had all of the bugs, and they didn't patch games back then.
Right.
But they were still just a lot of fun.
Plus, it kind of had like that. It was like BioWare-esque conversations, like not to the point where not seriously in depth, but you choose your conversation options. You could dig a little deeper if you wanted to get more story or not, and it was all voice acted. again, for better or worse.
Yeah.
But
I think there were like side quests in Tatooine
Yeah.
too, where you had to like rescue some person's kid and stuff. There was a lot to like about it. It was
Definitely.
really enjoyable. Probably some of my fondest memories from the Phantom Menace in general.
Yeah.
To be honest.
and I think like we've said it before, but I think playing that game made us appreciate the movie even more. Because it was kind of,
Oh, yeah,
it was like the
definitely.
closest thing to, because we had the game when the movie was still in theaters, I think. So
Yeah, I'm looking up release date right now.
yeah, so
Probably.
so it was a way to like relive the movie. Maybe that's why I feel like I saw that movie so many times, because I played that damn game.
It came out before the movie, actually.
What?
April 30th,
Oh,
1999.
really?
No
I don't
way.
remember. Did I play it before seeing the movie?
No,
I'm-
I can't.
I, have
I
no-
doubt it. I don't know
Oh.
how widely available it was, but it's not like there was Steam back
Well,
then.
I would
Right,
love
yeah.
to play it again. Just
Oh, you
for
can.
the
I have it
nostalgia.
installed. I actually played it recently.
Really.
Yeah.
Uh,
You have to get a special installer because it doesn't like 64-bit Windows.
I'm pretty
that
sure I
makes sense,
have
yeah.
the original disc somewhere here, Bill.
I'm gonna have to get that from you so I can try it.
There's still good stuff there. Like the lightsaber deflection in it is actually great fun.
Oh yeah. All right, we can go on and on about this probably. So
Well, mine is closely tied, and my number 2 is also video game related with the original Battlefront 2 release, which I'm sure for a lot of people is like the gold standard of one of the gold standards of Star Wars video games. But my
We were
fondest,
talking about the first,
the original
Battlefront 2.
Battlefront 2, not the
Oh,
EA
yes.
Dice, not the new one. Although we've had some great nights playing that too online.
oh yeah,
But Battlefront 2, the original, had
yeah.
Galactic Conquest, which is probably my favorite gaming experience or gaming memory, and it just happens to be a Star Wars one. Because we would play that, I think all 4 of us, right? Am I mistaken?
Not me.
Yeah, not
It
much.
was
I don't think
difference.
It was at least you,
I-
Ben, and
No,
me.
I never owned
was
it.
gonna say.
I never owned any Battlefront games.
You
I-
never played it with us at Bill's house.
At his house, maybe a couple times,
Yeah.
but never to the extent that you guys did.
Maybe that was your bowling league night or something.
Yeah, it must have been.
Galactic
Or wiffle
Conquest
ball.
was so much fun.
Yeah, I was dying for that in the new games,
Yeah.
and it's still. I mean, you can still play it, but you can't. There's no online multiplayer. So someday we got to get back together to conquer the galaxy.
Yeah, because you can still do it couch co-op
Yeah.
probably, right?
We'll just do it in person, like old times.
It's
at some point.
just mixing Battlefront now with a strategy element. It was actually a challenge too because we would get our butts kicked
Yeah,
constantly by the AI.
and I remember you could like work your way up with each of the different classes. Once you got a certain number of kills, you would get like the award weapon.
Mhm.
Do you remember
The elite rifles.
Yeah. that? Right.
That
Yeah.
fired like multiple bolts all at once and was just
And then it got a bit
Yeah.
easier after that. But yeah, that was great. It was like a strategy game mixed with, that area control style of like battlefield style combat. And the starfighters too. You could fight in space and you had to destroy the capital ships. Oh god. What was it? Some of the levels you could like, if you get the hero out fast enough, you could like sweep the whole thing without the other team ever advancing. Do you remember doing that?
yes. I just remember playing that game and just having the engineers and like when the enemies had tanks in the command posts, were just killing us all. We'd run in as engineers and slice the tanks and then get in them and start attacking the other guys and take the point. It was just so much fun.
Yeah, and the Battlefront 3 that would never see the light of day looked so hopeful.
Yeah.
Anyways, all right, let's move along. Ben, I guess this is your number 2.
Yeah, so my number 2 is definitely when I went to Disney World for my honeymoon, and we went to Galaxy's Edge, the Black Spire outpost, and I got to build my own lightsaber at Savi's workshop, which is and probably will be one of my favorite of all time memories of not only Disney, but Star Wars. Because they poured so much into that to make it as authentic as Star Wars can be on Earth.
Yeah, I'm dying to go.
Yeah, one of these days.
I mean, you guys know supposed to be a summer trip for us that got canceled by COVID.
Yep, us too.
Like, I don't want to spoil anything on that, but like the amount of detail they put into it, the whole acting with it, just sitting there waiting to build it and getting to look at the parts and being like, oh, you know, which hilt do I want and which pieces do I want to put together? And then you get the choice of picking a color crystal, and it's just like all of these feelings just rush into you, and you just feel like a kid building your own lightsaber. Yeah, it's not real, but man, they make it feel like it is.
Yeah. I know I gotta do that. That's not even a question for me.
And if you're looking for a less expensive moment at Galaxy's Edge, my next memory is Ronto Wrap in one hand, Blue Milk in the other, sitting around the side of Oga's Cantina at Galaxy's Edge, and you're staring right at the Millennium Falcon, and you're just like, where am I right now?
That's wild.
This is ridiculous.
Man.
And the music from Oga's, it's available on, I'm sure, all the streaming services, iTunes, Amazon, whatever. But you're sitting there outside the thing. You can hear the bass going. You can hear like muffled music. Then every time the door opens, someone goes in or out, you hear the full thing. It's so
my
good.
God.
It's just like the whole
You
environment
know
there.
too, since it's Disney World, they planned that.
Exactly.
Like they knew the walls have
Exactly.
to be this thick so that when you're standing outside, you can hear the bass pumping through,
Yes.
and then when that door opens, you get a little snippet. Like,
That's
oh,
why,
man.
it makes this memory almost more of a Disney World one than a Star Wars one. But
No, you really?
yeah, well, that is such a simple thing, but
They spare no expense.
And I listened to that soundtrack quite a
Yeah,
bit.
it's great. No, it
Good
is. Yeah, there's some good stuff on there.
Yeah, and it's all how would you say it? In world, like all the artists are
Yeah, so it's like
alien names and stuff. You don't know who actually made the thing.
a lot of like nonsense languages that are Star Wars inspired, sort of sounding, if not directly taken from like Huttese or whatever.
Mhm.
What's the name? What's the name of that? What's the name of the droid? The DJ droid.
Oh, it's Rex from the original Star Tours.
Right.
DJ Rex.
All right. Where do we leave off here? No, back to Bill.
Yeah, so I too missed out on my Star Wars trip last year, but I did get to go to Star Wars Celebration Chicago in 2019. And
Very jealous about that.
Yeah.
Yeah,
You're the
so-
one and only of the four of us to have ever
Yes.
been to a celebration.
So I can brag about that a little bit. So this is also the first time I've ever been to like a convention like that before, and it was pretty overwhelming. I mean, it's amazing to just go there and see everyone really into it, dressed up and everything. Of course, you know, I didn't want to like break the bank, so I didn't pay for like the VIP. So I didn't get to go to any of the like cool panels or anything, but I got to watch the trailer for Rise of Skywalker right there with everybody else in the main exhibition hall. So that was pretty fun.
Yeah, that's
standing in that crowd, you know.
Yeah, that's an experience.
When the Emperor starts laughing at
that's
you know,
right.
That was pretty intense. But I think a couple of the biggest memories I have from that though were standing ovations. So they had the panel for the movie, and Kelly Marie Tran was one of the panel members, and when she stood up to say something, I think for the first time, and she just got like a standing ovation from the crowd.
Yeah, that's great.
And then like it was a great moment because, you know, all the, I don't know, social media backlash and just inappropriate things that and the toxicity that was coming out during the sequel era made me sad. And then to just be there and see that and see all the thousands of Star Wars fans that were supporting. Yeah, it was a good memory.
It's always a place of positivity. You got to figure it. It's celebration. Because if you're a fan, that you're like, I mean, you're there you're loving it all, right?
Yeah.
It doesn't.
I mean, it's the best costume I saw was the guy wearing the pink hot pants
Yeah.
with nothing else, and he had a boom mic he was carrying around. It was amazing. I actually had to look it up because I was like, what in the but the fact that people go all out like that was just it was a great experience. And Ahmed Best was there as well, and he got a lot of fan service, which was good to see. But I think my only regret is I didn't bring my daughter with me, because I saw people dressed up with their kids dressed up.
Yeah, that would have been.
It was. I was like, I have to do this at some point in my life.
Yeah, for another time maybe. We'll see.
Yeah,
we'll make it happen.
Yeah,
probably not.
Chicago's not that far away. It's pretty good.
Well, I think it's a good kind of segue into our last one, which we all kind of share appropriately, but probably the closest I can think of as far as that level, being with that level of fandom, is the movie releases. Specifically, I want to talk about when episode 2 was released, because I remember getting tickets to go at midnight, which used to be the first time you could go was Thursday at midnight.
Yeah, they don't do that anymore, and I feel like you don't get the same caliber of crowd.
It's not the same.
7 p.m.
However, now that we're in our mid 30s and we have families, I do appreciate that they change things. But
that's true.
And we always go as early as we possibly can. But for episode 2, we were still in high school. It was coming out at midnight, and it was like a whole thing. Big group of friends. The whole theater was filled with just young people who were excited about a Star Wars movie, and it was just a blast. Like beyond the movie itself, it was an experience, and it was one that I've never been able to replicate since to quite the same degree. I remember even before the movie started with the trailers, you had the I think was the Like Mike trailer first.
Yeah, so that one happened first.
Right, and everybody,
the entire crowd just booed
from minute 1 of that trailer until the trailer was finished. There was constant booing.
Poor little Bow Wow.
Little Bow Wow was first and possibly only starring film role. I don't know, but yeah, it was. I always thought that was hilarious to include that one. I mean, I guess Star Wars is for kids, so I guess technically, if it wasn't the midnight release, it probably would have been received differently. But and then immediately after that, there's silence, right? And then this, like, I remember the bass, like, you know how movie theaters get that bass that like rattles your fillings, and you're just like cutting through and thinking like, what is this? And then you see the little green text start trickling down the screen for The Matrix 2, and we erupted.
It's just
It was great. I don't even remember what the trailer was that we were saying. Like, just based on the timeline, it must have been just like a little teaser.
Yeah,
I think it
was over a year before.
It might not have even been anything outside of just the text and maybe a title or something. I have no clue, but it was just so fun. It was hilarious and just exciting.
Just being there with all that energy was just so much fun.
Yeah.
And then there was a guy with a Yoda standee. I remember that in the seat, or it was in the aisle, like out next to his seat. And then the guy was dressed as Qui-Gon, the girl was dressed as Padme, and they actually had their hair and his facial hair grown.
Oh my goodness. I don't remember that. Wow.
To match. And I was like, what?
I could be wrong about which movie I'm thinking of, but I feel like I remember episode 1 line even more. I remember my mother taking time during the day or the whole day to wait in line just to get the tickets. Because I don't know that they did it way early like they do now, like months in advance. I think it might have been that day.
Yeah, day or week of me.
Yeah, something. She wait in line around the theater, got the tickets for us all, and then in the line we were playing board games, Star Wars Trivial Pursuit, Star Wars Trouble, and then the trailer I remember from episode 1 was for the Disney animated Tarzan movie. I think that was the first trailer that showed, and then one of my brother's friends, when it was over, he stood up and said, all right, well, I saw what I came here for, and then started walking out. And everybody laughed. So yeah, that was my big movie moment. But just in general, every line, every wait for the prequels was just so much fun.
Yeah. Oh, and still it continued into the sequels because you mentioned like playing games in line. We still, even though we don't have to now, like there have been times where we've got, especially you, Chris, because you work such early hours, you would get there like as soon as you possibly could. And we would be the only ones waiting for like just 4 or 5 hours just because it's what you do. You just go. Time, yeah. Yeah. Because I think by Rise of Skywalker, were we playing Star Wars Destiny outside the theater?
No, that was Last Jedi.
That was Last Jedi, yeah.
Maybe Rise of Skywalker.
A little Sabacc.
Oh, we did play Sabacc in the theater. That's right. Yeah. That's right. Ben got the set from Galaxy's Edge, actually.
And my last memory as a part of the theaters is definitely being surrounded by fans, all experiencing the same thing, usually for the first time, because we would always go and see the first.
Yes, always the earliest possible show.
We didn't want to risk, spoilers or some stupid idiot walking out of the theater and saying something out loud as we were walking in. But like when you're sitting in the theater and the lights finally start dimming and everybody's just got their anticipation, and then that fanfare kicks in and just everybody just cheers, and it's just deafening.
That's something I haven't considered. So the spin-off movies don't do the big opening orchestra. Are we ever going to see it again?
I don't know.
Because that could be a Skywalker Saga thing, but that is just so...
Well, now that they don't have to just to differentiate that, maybe they'll just go back to doing that all the time, just for the tradition. I don't know.
Well, I wonder if it'll be like when they do some of the bigger trilogies that they have planned versus the one-off movies.
I would think.
Yeah.
That's true too.
Like the story movies instead versus, I don't know. We'll see.
I hope so. There's just nothing like that. Just the silence of a long time ago in a galaxy far, far away. Just the anticipation for that big blam.
Although the John Williams will no longer be composing, so maybe that's going to be retired.
Yeah,
it's possible.
That's true. Yeah.
I could see that too.
Boring conversation anyway.
That about does it for our very first episode of the Warts and All Star Wars podcast. If you've made it with us this far, thanks so much for listening, and I really do mean that. We do hope that you'll check out our next 2 episodes, which we have already posted.
Episode 2 will be a focused discussion on the character of Boba Fett, and our 3rd episode, we will be talking about some of our favorite Star Wars board games. We're planning to continue to talk about a wide variety of topics that all fall under the Star Wars umbrella, but would love to get other ideas from listeners as well.
If you'd like to reach out to us with ideas, feedback, or just to say hi, you can find us at WORRTS, Warts and All, at Gmail, Facebook, Twitter, Instagram. There's a Discord server with an invite in the show notes. And also don't forget to subscribe, obviously, to all that good stuff. If you liked what you've heard, tell a friend, join the discussion. We'd love to hear from you.
If you make it through our first 3 episodes and are still wanting more, we'll be back next week with a look at why we love Episode 1, The Phantom Menace. Thanks again for listening, and may the Force be with you.
Lovely.
Always.
There it is.